Hey guys, in today's book to screen, I'm going to be talking about Goosebumps, based off of the series by R.L. Stine, starring Jack Black, Dylan Minnette, and Odeya Rush. So before I get going on my thoughts on the Goosebumps movie, just to let you guys know, there's going to be no spoilers in this video, so you can watch freely if you have not seen the movie. But if you have seen the movie, you are perfectly free to comment down below with spoilers. Just to give you a quick summary about what Goosebumps is about, it follows a teenage boy named Zach and his mother who moved to this small town in the middle of nowhere, and his next door neighbor ends up being R.L. Stine. So after a series of events, Zach and R.L. Stine's daughter Hannah, they are messing around and some things happen, and all of a sudden all of R.L. Stine's infamous monsters and creatures are unleashed in this small town, causing havoc and chaos. You guys, I was a 90s child. Goosebumps was a part of my childhood. I pretty much read nothing but Goosebumps books throughout my entire, elementary school life. Reading Goosebumps books was kind of like the cool thing to do in elementary school, and it was always kind of a competition about how many Goosebumps books you had. And since I loved the Goosebumps books so much as a child, when I heard that this movie was being made, I was kind of initially skeptical. I was a little worried. And then, yeah, once the trailers were released, I was like, oh god, is this going to be silly and cheesy and over the top and just really stupid? And you guys, I was pleasantly surprised with this movie. It was so freaking good. I adored it. It's hard to describe this movie. I mean, the thing that kind of comes to mind while I was watching Goosebumps, it reminded me heavily of kind of early 90s kids movies. And I guess more specifically, things like Jumanji and Hocus Pocus. So yeah, I mean, if you liked things like Jumanji and Hocus Pocus, I think you will actually really like this Goosebumps movie. It's very, very reminiscent of those movies, and it kind of just, it takes those same kind of leaps and framework and whatnot in terms of kind of the narrative structure and whatnot. Just, yeah, very heavily focused on the characters, some emotional bits, you know. That's kind of the thing with today's kids movies. I hardly ever really enjoy a kids movie today because I just don't really feel connected to it, and sometimes it's really cheesy and silly and over the top. Whereas, for me, those early 90s kids movies, like I said, things like Jumanji and Hocus Pocus, there was just really an emotional tug and core to them, and just an overall great story. And yeah, they weren't ridiculous like I think a lot of kids movies are now today, if that makes sense. I also really liked the cast for this movie. Jack Black is always great. We can't ever complain about Jack Black. He's always great in everything he is. This is probably one of his more subdued performances in a weird way. He kind of is a bit of a creepy sort of character, the R.L. Stine character. This is definitely a more fictional version of R.L. Stine. This is not like the real R.L. Stine. I think it's important to kind of stress that. Even though R.L. Stine does make a cameo in the movie, I won't tell you where, but just be on the lookout for R.L. Stine's cameo. But yeah, like I said, I really like Jack Black in this. There was actually a lot of emotional scenes with him. There was a lot of character depth, weirdly enough, a lot of stuff that I wasn't really expecting with that character at all. And then I also loved the two teenage leads played by Dylan Minnette and Odeya Rush. They were fantastic. Some teenage actors who can actually act, you guys. And I just totally bought those two as their characters, and of course they have a little bit of a romance with them. Of course, it's a kids movie, of course they do. I bought that relationship between them. But overall, this movie was just fun from start to finish. I had a ridiculously fun time. It was just really cool to see all of these various different monsters and creatures from the Goosebumps books come to life. I was just amused the whole time because I was pretty much able to guess every single creature and which book they came from. Though, to be honest, there were a few creatures that popped up and I was like, where the hell is that creature? What did they come from? So apparently, I've not read every single Goosebumps book, but I have read a good chunk of them. So yeah, the ones that I wasn't familiar with, it kind of threw me for a bit because I kept thinking, what are they from? But yeah, the majority of them, if you have read a good portion of the books, you'll most likely recognize them all. The main villain is actually Slappy from the Knights of the Living Dummies series. There's like 3 books in that series, I think, all focused with Slappy as the villain. So yeah, kind of perfect and obvious that Slappy would be the primary villain for this movie. And I think he's one of the most popular villains from the series in general. The movie isn't perfect by no means. I do think it has a very, very strong opening. I wasn't really expecting kind of how strong the opening was. A very strong opening, really great middle, and then the ending is rushed. I was kind of a little bit frustrated with the ending because everything got wrapped up super quickly. But yeah, like I said, you guys, this was just a fun movie from start to finish. If you are a 90s child, definitely see this movie just for a bit of nostalgia. This was just so good. I enjoyed it immensely. And like I kind of said, I was just pleasantly surprised with it because I wasn't expecting this movie to kind of be the way that it was, which was nice. So yeah, have you guys seen the Goosebumps movie? Do you plan on seeing it? Just let me know your thoughts down below. And like I said, you can talk about spoilers if you wish. And also let me know, were you a fan of Goosebumps back in the day? And did you watch the TV series? I definitely love that TV series too. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you liked this book to screen, you may like these other book to screens. Bye guys.